So just imagine this for a second. You're at your sister-in-law's sip and see party, celebrating some big promotion she got at her high-end job, and you don't even want to be there. And the reason is because you're still grieving the passing of your father that was just a few weeks ago, and get this, she has the nerve to walk up to you and say, here's $5,000. Can you please stop sulking and being a pity-patty in front of everybody at my party? And you know what? I looked at her and I couldn't believe the audacity. So I went to her ear and I whispered this. I know how you got that promotion money.
Hey, this is a long story, so bear with me. I've been through a lot lately and I just need to get it all out. My mind's a mess right now and I really need some opinions that are not from my own family or from anybody I know in real life. I'm just so confused and angry. I'm Carol, I'm 32, child-free, and I recently lost my dad. It's been tough, to say the least. My husband Sam and we've been married for 2 years now, and his family has always been a bit weird. Much. More particularly his sister. The biggest problem I have with this family is my sister-in-law Linda. See, to be honest, I never liked her. Her husband, John, he's a pretty chill dude, so I get along with him just fine, but her? She's always been pretty self-centered, and she's having a way of making everything just about her. She's always been proud of the fact that she's got a good career, while still being able to have children. And care for them, of course. Yeah, I get it. That's great. We're all, for women, achieving a lot of things more than just being a wife, but Linda's just too much. She just seemed to like to rub her achievements in my face, simply because I'm child-free by choice. You know, it's her way of telling me how weak I am, for not being able to get a career while also being a mom. In addition, some parts of me feel like Linda just has this prejudice against me since I'm not white, which just furthers the gap between the both of us. Obviously, we have never really meshed, but I've tried to make it work, mainly for Sam's sake. He's always been the type to want peace and harmony in the family, even when it's at my expense. But over the years, I've just learned to avoid her and give little attention as much as possible. Now, to give you guys a bit of a quick background, my dad has been sick for a while. He passed away very recently, and we had the funeral just 2 weeks ago. Since then, I've been trying to keep it together. It's been hard, and honestly, I'm still not over it. The grieving process has been so overwhelming. And on top of everything, I've had to deal with my husband's family being, his family. So here's the situation. About 2 weeks after my father's funeral, Linda throws this big sip and see party to celebrate her promotion and the big bonus that came along with it. Now, I did not want to go. How could I? I was still mourning my father, and the thought of going to some party where Linda would probably talk about herself the entirety of the time just did not seem appealing. I just had no energy to deal with her. I just wanted to breathe comfortably in the comforts of our home, trying to process my dad's death peacefully. But Sam being Sam, insisted I go. He said it would be good for me to get out of the house and that I should show support for his sister. So despite being emotionally drained, I agreed. I really don't want to start an argument with him, so I went. And honestly, it was everything I expected it to be. Linda was the center of attention per usual. She was talking nonstop about her promotion, how much she worked for it, and how great she was at her job. And meanwhile, her husband John is just on the sideline chilling. To be honest, he's the only person to even check and ask me if I'm okay. But the rest, everybody was fawning over her, congratulating her, and I was just sitting there trying to smile through my grief. Well, the whole thing felt so fake. I could barely focus on anything, and to be honest, it was hard to even be there. I just wanted to go home and be by myself. But Sam kept telling me to stay, be supportive, and I tried. I really did. But Linda's smug attitude just made it hard to even pretend. But I kept on trying. I still did not want to deal with another argument with him and his family, and I was just too emotional, to try that. But then things took a turn. Oh yeah, so here's what happened. Linda pulls me aside at one point during the party. She's all smiles, ear to ear, acting like she's doing me a favor or something. See, she hands me an envelope and says, "I know, honey. This must be a tough time for you with your father passing and everything. Maybe this'll help take your mind off things. It's $5,000. Just try to move on and celebrate something for once." I honestly could not believe what I just heard. She was good at being passive-aggressive, and all this time I tried to ignore it for the sake of my peace, but this was just too far. I thought that this was too low even for someone like her. She was handing me money and telling me to get over my father's passing, like she thought that giving me money would just, poof, magically make me stop grieving. I just buried my father 2 weeks ago and she's acting like it's nothing. Guys, do you want to know the worst part? She wasn't even pretending to be sympathetic. There was no, "I'm so sorry for your loss," or anything like that. Just here, take this money and move on. I can't even put into words how hurtful that was. I was still grieving the loss of my father, and, well, here she was, treating me like my feelings didn't matter. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just stood there, staring at that envelope in my hand, trying not to cry. But something in me just snapped. I don't know if it was the grief, the exhaustion, or maybe just the sheer audacity, but I could not hold it anymore. See, I leaned in close to her and whispered, "I know how you got that bonus and that promotion." And at that moment, it was the first time I saw the smile on her face disappear in an instant. I could see the panic in her eyes. She didn't say anything at first, but I could tell she was shocked. I didn't say more, I didn't need to. I just wanted her to know that I wasn't as clueless as she thought I was. I wasn't just going to let her walk all over me, pretending everything was fine when she was so clearly using people to get ahead. Okay, you're probably wondering what the hell am I going on about? Let me explain. I know how you got the bonus and promotion. Oh yeah, you see, for months now I've been hearing whispers around the grapevine regarding Linda, mostly from my friends who work in the same company as her. My friend, who also was up for a promotion, had told me about how Linda has been having an affair with one of the senior executives at the company. Oh yeah, the rumors had been floating around the office, but nobody wanted to say a word because it was all chit-chat. You know, office drama. My friend was even passed over for a promotion that Linda ended up getting, and they had their suspicion about exactly how Linda got ahead. At first, there's no way that I believed this. I didn't want to believe it. I had so much on my plate with my dad's illness and everything, so I just ignored it. But when I saw Linda acting the way that she was at that party, when she handed me that envelope and told me to get over my dad's death, it all clicked. She'd been sleeping with her boss. That was how she got the promotion, the bonus, everything. I knew it. I couldn't just pretend like I didn't know anymore. You see, I didn't have any solid proof at the time. I didn't. I had seen them all together, and I did not have any photos or anything like that, but I wasn't stupid, and it all started to make sense now. Linda's sudden rise of the company, the extra perks that she was getting, the way she acted like she was untouchable, it all pointed back to that affair. And in that moment, I was so fed up with her dismissing my grief and acting like she was above everyone else that I just had to say something. I did not go into full detail with her at the party, and honestly, I don't even know, or I'm not really sure how to handle it at the moment. But I wasn't going to let her think that she could just get away with treating me like this. I didn't care about that promotion or the money. I just cared that she was acting like my dad's death did not matter. That I should just be happy for her and her success, to be honest. I felt satisfied seeing the panic in her eyes. After I whispered that line, I left the party early. I didn't want to deal with her anymore or anyone. I just needed to get out. Sam, of course, stayed behind. He was still trying to keep the peace, trying to make everything okay, but I was done. I simply could not take it anymore. You know, I went home that night and just sat there, feeling so angry and sad at the same time. I didn't know exactly what to do next. I did say those words out of anger, but what now? I feel like I have just gotten myself into some deep tunnel when I should have just been focusing on my grief and trying to get myself back to work. I really don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm already dreading what Linda's actions will be after this. I just really wanted to grieve in peace. I mean, why do I have to deal with this? I really just had to get this off my chest right now. I would also like to hear advice from any of you. I'm just so lost at the moment. Comment number 1 from the original post. This one says, "Oh dear. As somebody with white in-laws, I just know that feeling of a gap between us. They're not overly racist, but you just feel different, right? Thank goodness for my partner, though. He knows how to defend me and set boundaries. OP, your hubby, he really needs to step up as a man. Also, I don't blame you for snapping at her. This was out of your control, to be honest. You're dealing with grief, and your sister-in-law had just pushed the wrong button. For now, focus on keeping yourself calm, and then decide from there on out what to do next." Comment number 2 says, "OP, I know what's done is done, but you said that you've been drastically, gray-rocking your sister-in-law anyways by giving her so little attention. All the years that you've been with your husband, you really could have just done that night, because from what I'm seeing right now, you've just gotten yourself into another big problem. Hopefully, you can make it through this one, because I don't know, it might not be pretty. But I'm really optimistic." Just kidding. You've let yourself be into this problem, and it's going to be hard to escape from it if I'm being honest with you. Update number 1. Hey guys, it's me. I just wanted to say thank you for all the advice. I did not expect so many people to respond, and I can't tell you how much it helped me to read your words. I'm really grateful for all the perspectives from those who told me that I was right to speak up to those who advised me to be careful. Honestly, I wish I could go back in time and just keep quiet. I wish I just smiled at the time, refused her money, and left quietly. I really wish that I should have done that instead. You see, I thought telling Linda that I knew about her promotion would make her think twice before treating me the way that she did at her party. But I could not have been more wrong. I did not expect things to spiral the way that they did. Linda has not let go of it for a second. If anything, she's doubled down on trying to make my life miserable. The day after the party, Linda tried to act like nothing had happened. But within a few days, I start getting text messages from her, asking to meet up to, quote, clear the air. I was hesitant, but she kept pushing. So I finally agreed and we met up. She acted friendly, almost overly friendly, and then she slid an envelope to me. It was another $5,000. She told me this time it's to help me through my grief. But it was clear that she had one goal: to keep me quiet. She actually had the nerve to say, "You obviously need this money right now. Just take it. Let's move on." It was like she thought I was too desperate to turn it down and that I would just happily accept a payout to shut up and pretend nothing had happened. I can't even describe how insulting it felt. Losing my own father had been the hardest thing I've ever been through. And here's Linda, trying to use it as leverage to make me go away. And that attitude, like I needed her money, yeah, and should be grateful for her little generosity. That was the last straw. I refused the money. I told her I wasn't interested. And I walked out. I thought that would be the end of it, but it just made things worse. So, a week or so later, she tried again. She messaged me asking if I'd recognized the offer and told her no. She did not push after that, but I had this gut feeling it wasn't over. Sure enough, Linda's approach changed from bribery to something way more destructive of a path. Now, she's going around spreading rumors that I'm the one who's been cheating. I've heard from multiple people that Linda's been telling everyone she's concerned because she supposedly overheard something about me having an affair. It's completely baseless, of course, but it's catching on because she's framing it as her, quote, just wanting to make sure Sam is okay and not wanting to stir things up. She's so good at playing innocent, and she knows exactly how to twist the narrative to make me look like the villain. The worst part is that my husband Sam is buying it. I've tried explaining to him over and over it's not true, that Linda's just upset because I left early during her party. I mean, he saw me suffer for several months from my dad's diagnosis up into his death. How would I even find time or think about cheating with another man when I already have too much on my plate? I was already tired and exhausted, and he thought that I could still cheat at the same time. But Sam keeps brushing it off, saying things like, "Well, maybe she heard it from someone. Linda wouldn't just make it up." Yeah, he's convinced that his sister is somehow looking out for him, and it hurts more than I can explain. Instead of supporting me when I'm already dealing with losing my father, he's believing his sister's lies and adding to the stress. Now he's been giving me a cold shoulder for days. Honestly, it's unbelievable. And it's not just Sam. My in-laws are taking her side too, saying they're, quote, disappointed in me for supposedly causing tension in the family. They keep saying they just want peace and that I should apologize for the rumors I'm sure aren't even true. So I'm now guilty even without any proof of it all. It's like they're completely blind to her manipulation and don't even care to hear my side of the story. I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle. No matter what I say, Linda's words seem to carry more weight with them. I know she's only doing this because she feels threatened, but no one else can see it. I'm so angry and frustrated that I don't even know how to move forward. Part of me just wants to walk away from it all. But it feels so unfair to just let her keep twisting the truth while my own husband doubts me. I don't want to keep dragging things down, but at the same time, I can't stand the thought of letting Linda win and letting her ruin my marriage and reputation. It's honestly one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with. Right now, I'm at a loss. I don't know if I should keep trying to convince Sam or if I should just take a step back and let him figure things out completely on his own. You know, I've tried the route of being patient. I've tried the route of being calm, and it's not really working now, is it? But the lies, the manipulation are just really starting to wear me down. I just want to grieve my father in peace and not have to deal with this absolute nightmare every single day. So yeah, I really am not sure what my next move should be, but thank you again to everybody who offered support. I do appreciate it. I know I would not have made it this far without all of you. Update number 2. Hey, everybody. So, it's been quite some time. I just wanted to say thank you again for the support. I've read through all your advice and encouragement, and I can't even express how much it's helped me during this down time. But now I feel like I've hit a breaking point and I just need to get an update about where my things are right now. So, since my very last post, everything has only gotten worse. Sam's coldness is starting to really get to me, to the point where I don't even recognize him anymore. He's been so distant, practically avoiding me at every turn, and the times that we do talk, it's almost as if he's looking through me. I can't tell you how painful it is to try to explain myself over and over, only to be met with silence or an accusing stare. He decided to believe Linda's lies over our own relationship, and it's like nothing I say matters anymore. I don't know how to get out this point, and I'm starting to feel like there's no way out of this. At this point, I don't think our marriage can even be saved. For a while, I simply felt hopeless, like there was no way to break out of this. I couldn't even focus on my work because, thankfully, my boss and I have a solid relationship over the years, and I've worked for them so they were more understanding of my predicament. But you see, after days of crying, questioning myself and feeling trapped, something finally clicked. Why am I letting Linda get away with this? She's so used to making everyone believe her lies and manipulation, and I've been letting it all slide because I just wanted to avoid more conflict. But enough is enough. If she's determined to spread lies about me and turn my husband and in-laws against me, then I need to show everyone the truth. I'm done sitting back while she kept tearing down my life. So, I decided to fight back. I reached out to my friend who was the source of Linda's affair. Yes, that friend from my first post who told me all the information because she feels suspicious of the promotion that Linda got. And she was also a candidate for the same promotion. I'd already told her everything that's been going on, and she's been incredibly supportive. See, she was furious when I told her about Linda's latest lie. And when I asked if she could help me gather any solid proof of Linda's affair, she agreed without hesitation. There have been rumors about her relationship with a senior executive, whispers that have been circulated around the office for a good while, but nobody dared to come forward to say a word. My friend herself sees how close they are even at work, and only a blind man could deny the fact that they're cheating. Over the next few days, my friend starts keeping her ears popped open for more information, and we exchanged every bit of detail that we could find, and it took a long time, but then finally I got some valuable information. My friend overheard a conversation that mentioned a very specific hotel that Linda's been seen going into with this executive, and it's apparently a place they've used more than once for their little meeting. It seems like Linda and her so-called mentor have been pretty careless, assuming nobody would notice, but people at work are definitely aware. People are talking. Just too, afraid of Linda's influence and connections to say anything openly. Honestly, I'm glad Linda's so full of herself that she allowed this carelessness to happen. She thinks that she's so untouchable, guys. It's disgusting. When my friend told me this, I knew what I had to do. Expose her for what she truly is. Obviously, that's a bit risky, but I don't care. If I don't do something, she'll just keep spreading lies and turning everyone against me anyways. This is my chance to show everyone who Linda really is, and to be honest, if my husband and in-laws still want to believe her after I lay out the truth, then maybe I've been fighting for something that's already gone. But I needed to know for sure, so here's my plan. I'm going to go to the hotel myself, get the proof that I need, photos, something undeniable that'll finally back her into a corner and force her to face the consequences. I want to see it with my own eyes just to make sure that there's no way that she can twist this around. It feels strange to take things this far, but after everything she's done, I think it's the only way to stop her lies once and for all. I want her to know that she can't just throw her money or status around to silence people who see through her. Right now, I'm just waiting for the right moment, and when I go, I'll make sure to get the proof that I need. Maybe I'm going too far, maybe not, but at this point, I don't really care. Linda has no problem spreading lies and trashing my reputation to protect herself, so she deserves to have her actions finally catching up with her. I'll update everybody, so wish me luck this time. I'm going in, with no doubt. Update number 3. So, after getting that tip from my friend about the hotel, I finally went there myself. It took several tries, and honestly, it was quite difficult for me as I had to find time while still working. I wasn't sure if I'd catch Linda and her boss in action, but I had to try. Fortunately, during one of my attempts, I finally got lucky. I arrived a bit earlier than they were supposedly meeting, so I just waited in the lobby, pretending to be on my phone. Sure enough, about 20 minutes later, Linda walked in with her boss right by her side, and they didn't seem to notice me at all, which was perfect because I didn't want to draw any attention to myself. I followed them as discreetly as I could, and when they headed over to the hotel bar, I positioned myself at a distance, but still close enough to see. And then, just like clockwork, I saw them acting way more than professional. They were all over each other, giggling, flirting, and being anything but subtle. Linda even leaned over and kissed him right there in the bar, and I couldn't believe it. Honestly, here she was, the same person who's been trying to tear me down, acting like she's untouchable, and honestly funny how she had the guts to do this publicly. Does she honestly think that no one's going to recognize her? Or that everyone would be afraid or something? I quickly snapped several photos, making sure to capture absolutely everything. The hand-holding, the way they looked at each other, and, well, that kiss. It felt surreal, but in a way, it was such a relief to finally have the truth on my side. With these photos, there's no way that you can possibly twist the narrative or blame me with her lies, not a second longer. Now, for the next step, I had to make sure these photos went to the right person. After some thinking, I decided to send them to her boss's wife. I found her contact info through some social media. She has a LinkedIn, and I sent everything anonymously. I didn't write much, just a short message saying she deserved to know the truth. I hit send, and that was it. Now, I'm just waiting for the fallout. I know it's not my place to meddle in their marriage, but I figured that she has a right to know. And as for Linda, it's time she faces the consequences of her actions, instead of continuing to drag me through the mud. My brother-in-law Johnny also deserves to know the truth. She's been making a fool out of him for some time now, and honestly, I pity him. He's been very kind and chill towards me despite Linda's accusations. I'm not sure what's going to happen next, but I finally feel like I have some power in this whole mess. I'll keep you all posted on what unfolds. It's a strange feeling, but I'm finally hopeful that the truth will win out. Update number 4. Hey guys, this is going to be it, and thank you again for the advice. I feel like I can finally close this chapter. It's been a few months since my last update, and I was just busy fixing my life again. Anyways, after I sent the photo to Linda's boss's wife, things moved quickly. Linda was fired about a week later due to morality clauses in her contract, and it turns out the wife has been having suspicions for a long time, but hasn't had the chance to get the definite proof. It seems like I came at the perfect timing. Now, apparently Linda's boss is a piece of a jerk. Not only was he, a cheater, but he's also a coward who was desperate to save his own job and threw her under the bus to protect himself. See, they've both been caught up in this affair, but he managed to smooth things over enough to stay at the company, leaving Linda to take the fall. Honestly, she was well deserving of it, but John is such a nice guy, and she's even cheated with this jerk. She should have seen this coming. And as if that wasn't enough, John was officially filed for divorce. I mean, come on, good for him. He doesn't deserve to stay with a wife like Linda. Unfortunately, though, there's a rumor going around that Linda's youngest son, the one that she had over a year ago, might not be John's. It's a shocking twist, but it only confirms that stepping away was the best thing for me. Whatever happens, there's none of my concern here anymore. From what I've heard, John's been fighting for full custody, and it's gotten bitter for both sides. As for me, I finally made the decision to divorce Sam. I packed up and left our home, even paying the penalty on the lease, just so that I could walk away clean. Sam, for once, will have to deal with the consequences of his own inactions. With me gone, he's stuck with either paying the bills and rent on his own or facing the penalty himself. From what I've heard, his family is now financially focused on helping Linda in her custody battle, so he might be in a tough spot. I'm feeling relieved. Honestly, it's strange, but seeing Linda's manipulations come crashing down around her has been oddly healing. I don't wish any ill on her kids. They're innocent in all this, and I hope they'll be okay in the end. But as for Linda and Sam, I'm just happy to finally be free from their drama. It's been a long road, but I'm ready to rebuild and heal. So thank you guys, everyone who stuck with me and helped me out.